you, and I look forward to your questions.
Well, I thought you were going to introduce people that were here, or did you?
Well, my in-laws,
Oh.
Tom and Jenny Mascott, and my children. Thank you, Chairman.
You bet. Thank you. Professor, you had a rare opportunity to clerk for not one, but two justices on the Supreme Court, Justice Thomas and then Judge Gorsuch on the 10th Circuit. What did you take away from these clerkships about the proper role of a judge?
Well, Chairman, thank you. I am deeply honored to have been able to serve both alongside and for, and later teach with Justice Thomas and Justice Kavanaugh when he was on the D.C. Circuit. And they both had brought a lot of humility to their service on the federal bench and understanding of the limited role in our system of a federal judge to decide concrete cases and controversies, fairly apply the principles of law, look deeply at the public understanding of text in the Constitution and statutes, and apply the law with justice and fairness and humility without favor to any particular kind of party.
You directed litigation clinics at two law schools where students worked on appellate briefs before the Supreme Court and federal courts of appeal. What have you learned from mentoring students in these real-world cases, and how will that experience shape your approach to complex appellate cases when you're on the bench?
Well, thank you, Senator. It was an immense honor to be able to teach students, first as an adjunct at my alma mater, GW, and later at Scalia Law School and Catholic. And I was so happy to come in this morning and see actually several former students working here as staffers present right now at the hearing, working for you all, and continuing just a great tradition of service. With the work, particularly in founding the student litigation clinics, focused on issues of separation of powers, those were great opportunities to help students get practical experience writing briefs, looking at important constitutional issues. The clinics had the honor, as I believe you mentioned earlier in your opening remarks, at times of even filing amicus briefs in the Supreme Court on behalf of members of this committee, sometimes even for as many as 100 members of Congress in important cases dealing with student loan payments, the meaning and significance of the now reverse Chevron doctrine, and other important issues cutting across all three branches of government, the important role of freedom and limited government in this country. That's a tradition I know this committee is working every day to try to uphold as well.
You've been before Congress many times on topics ranging from executive privilege to the role of federal courts and the administrative law. How has that experience shaped your perspective on the judiciary's role in our system of separated powers?
Well, Senator, I was really grateful for the opportunity here in this committee and also on the House Judiciary Committee, as you mentioned, to be able to testify a number of times courts in the confirmation hearings for two Supreme Court justices on issues of regulatory law and executive privilege. And with the committee's often exacting questions, it was really an opportunity to see how this body unpacks legal questions and is dedicated to its role in our system, which, of course, in Article 1 is really preeminent with policy making and establishing rule of law, preserving freedom. And I was really grateful the committee brought me in to unpack issues, not only how the three branches at the federal level interact, but also the way in which the federal government's designedly limited role preserves freedom of the states to be able to govern people and preserves freedom of families and religious institutions and folks in local communities.
I referred in my opening statement about how your scholarship has been cited by the Supreme Court in more than one opinion, and you've even been referenced by name during oral arguments. How has your experience as a professor and scholar influenced the way you would approach precedent as a judge?
Well, the opportunity as a professor to study and teach and write on the Constitution would be foundational because it has really increased even more my love and respect for the document for our freedoms, and provided a lot of opportunity to dig deep in the history of understanding the meaning of the texts and phrases in the Constitution, and how the founders in drafting and then ratifying among the state ratification conventions that text were focused on preserving liberty and freedom and wrestling with accountability for governmental actors and focusing on the preeminence of elections in selecting policymakers.
Senator Durbin.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Professor, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad you're here today, and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
You clerked for just